guys, I hope y'all are doing good today. I wanted to do a video today about what life was like growing up for me. If you can't tell, I'm a big person, and I'm obviously very unique because of my haircut. I've always been kind of in a way made fun of when I was growing up for being on the bigger side, and then two, for being the way I am, for being so different and having my own way of things. And I kind of wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about it so y'all can hear my story, so that too y'all can think to not let someone stop you from being who you want to be, and do not try to tell yourself you got to be a certain way for other people. Okay? Growing up for me was very difficult. Definitely the fact that I had a single mother. I didn't have a father. My father died when I was 2 years old. And growing up, like I said, was hard. So I wanted to have those kind of friends that can really have your back and help you, as a person grow. And I ended up finding that when I was in 5th grade. I found Richard, which I've talked about him in almost every video I've posted. Richard, he's a friend of mine I've had for 13 plus years, and he has had my back through a lot of the stuff that I had to deal with growing up. And I had his back too, because Richard, he's a gay guy. Whenever something was going on with me, he always had my back, and whenever something was going on with him, I always had his back. And that's one good thing about having a true friend, that if you have someone that's willing to be there for you and stand up for you whenever you needed them, if they're willing to do that, that is the truest friend you could possibly have in your whole life. And I had that, and I still have that. He's still my best friend. And by the time I got out of high school, I still had a lot of self-esteem issues, and Richard was the one that really tried to get me out of that, honestly, and it didn't work because, I didn't have any real boyfriends until I met my husband, and so I always felt like no one understood me, really, if you know what I mean. And I just felt like kind of alone. I didn't feel like I was going to find anybody, because that too was a big thing that a lot of people told me, that I wasn't going to ever find anyone, that I was going to be alone. And Richard was the one that also too would always tell me, you'll find somebody, Taylor, just give it time, it'll come. And whenever I found my husband, it was a complete, out of nowhere kind of thing. I wasn't even looking. I was kind of to a point where I was done with looking for a man. And Corey was a lot of what has helped me grow a lot as a person when it comes to being open about things and feeling about myself. He's the one that's really helped me a lot with that. But back whenever I first graduated high school, I didn't have a job until I was probably about 20 years old. And when I first got my first job, I worked at McDonald's. I worked there for about 10 months. And whenever I first got that job, I was so scared about having to work. I was scared about having to communicate with people, because I was so shy to a point that I couldn't even go in a fast food restaurant, any kind of restaurant. Like, I couldn't even go through a drive-through at a fast food place and order my own food, because I was that shy. That's how bad growing up was for me when it came to bullying. And whenever I would order, I'd have to tell my mom to order for me, or if I was with a friend, they would bend over the passenger seat to order for me, because I couldn't do it. And over the years of working at McDonald's, and then I also worked at H-E-B after that, which is a grocery store. For some of y'all that probably don't know, it's a grocery store. I worked there for about 3 years in the bakery department. And when I had those jobs, I had to communicate with people. I didn't have an option. I literally had to do the face-to-face type conversation, talk full on, and had to be nice and sweet about it. And I was so scared when I worked at McDonald's to do it. But by the time I got to H-E-B, I opened up a lot as a person whenever I started out working at a place where I had to actually communicate. So by the time I met my husband, though, that's whenever I really started to notice that, I really started to open up even more, because he always made me feel really good about myself, and always told me how beautiful I was, and how he loved me for me and didn't care about how big I am. And that's the kind of man I always wanted. I wanted someone that accepted me for who I was, because there's so many people out there that try to tell you, oh, you need to lose weight, or you need to do this, you need to do that. And I wanted a man that understood me and wanted me for how I was. I didn't want a man to try to tell me I needed to change my ways, and he didn't do that. He loved me for every bit of me. And it was thanks to him that I've opened up a lot too. So main summary basically of this whole video is so that you see that even though you get bullied, okay, you can get bullied, you can get made fun of at work, or some girls that you hang out with, there's that one girl that's just kind of upsets you every once in a while when you see them. Just remember that you're beautiful and you're smart and all of that in your own way, and don't let someone at school sit there and tell you that, oh, you're too big or you're too short, or none of that matters. You are your own person. You are unique. You are great. That's all that matters. Be you. Do not let someone tell you you should not be who you are. Don't let someone pull you down because you're different than they are, because you're not cookie cutter, okay? Being unique is the best thing ever. Being different is what makes you you. So do not let anybody tell you that you shouldn't be who you are, okay? Because just because you're different does not mean you can't succeed and have a good life and have a husband or a wife and have some kids. Being different doesn't matter. Being different is great. Being different is the best thing in the world. Being unique and not being like every other person is the best thing. So just remember that next time someone tries to make fun of you, you tell them, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm different, but so what? I'm me and I'm great, and you're just jealous because you're not how I am. You're jealous because you're cookie cutter and you let people define who you are. Just remember that, okay, everybody? I love y'all. Remember what I said, okay? Do not let anyone tell you you need to be different. All right? I love y'all. Y'all have a good rest of the day, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.